This video will show you a new process for using the law of attraction and understanding it at a deeper level so that you can really make profound changes in your life. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you an updated process to understanding the law of attraction. Now this idea in this video was inspired because I really became aware of how much the ego has the pressure of controlling reality. Now the thing with this is that is it inherently better from a point of view of seeing that normally when we first learned about the law of attraction, prior to that, we were completely unconscious to our thought patterns. We were completely unconscious to being able to deliberately create what we want in our lives. But at the same time, what happens is we become so focused on controlling every different aspect of our life. And what ends up happening is we end up building resistance sometimes, because if something doesn't happen the way we think it should happen, we then start to beat ourselves up. And the idea behind this is understanding the law of attraction at a deeper level towards seeing that our ego must surrender some of the control over to the higher mind, over to the universe, or whatever we want to call it. Now, the reason I'm really making this video is because I've noticed it within myself. I've noticed that maybe there's a certain part of me that likes to know that I'm controlling different aspects of my life. Now, I still think that the job of the ego is to understand and to have that level of focus, to decide what it does want and what it doesn't want. But at the same time, the way that it becomes a double-edged sword, or the way that it really starts to work against us, is when we take on more than we're supposed to take on, when we put the whole burden of the world on the back of our shoulders. So that's what this video is going to show you. It's going to show you an understanding of our higher self to our ego self, and how we can learn to trust the process more in order to really get what we want. Now, under this new level of understanding the law of attraction, something that's important to understand is that we are already whole and complete, and that anything that we desire outside of ourselves can be a symbol for something that we want to experience in our life. But really, we can give permission to ourselves to feel that validation, to feel whatever we're intending to manifest right now in the present moment. Now, what this does is this allows us to switch the frame. So instead of thinking that that thing over there is going to make me feel better, what we can then do is realize that we can give permission right now for us to feel the emotions that we want. Now, the benefit of this is that as we begin to invoke and feel the emotions of what we want to experience from something external to us, we give ourselves the permission to feel it right now. What we end up doing is being in resonance with what we want to experience anyway. So it becomes like a double-edged sword. Now, to evolve this whole level of the law of attraction, the way I want to show you guys is that what we can begin to do is realize that it's about resonance, it's about focus, it's about emotions and action, of course, but it comes down to the basis of knowing that we get a reflection in our life of who we are being. We get a reflection of what we are thinking about and how we are feeling. Now, this means that what we can then do is put the awareness within of how can I feel the emotions of what I want to experience right now? What can I do to feel validated right now? A lot of the things I want in my own life might come from validation. I realized this recently because I have such a desire to spread these messages. I have such a desire to grow to a certain level that at a certain point, why can't I give myself permission right now in the present moment to feel that validation? And is there a chance that if I feel that validation right now in the present moment, that then those things that I want to experience could come to me quicker because I'm already embodying the vibration, the energy, and the resonance of it? So this is where I believe the power is in first off knowing that the emotions we want to experience are within us right now. And when instead we take the focus from out there in what we want to attract and we bring it in here primarily first, that then we start to switch the whole script and we allow ourselves to go in at this process at a much deeper level. Now, the next step to this is knowing that we can trust the process, that a lot of times if we put all the burden on our own back and we're so taking inventory of every thought that we think, that can cause resistance and that can cause us to take on more than we are actually able to or required to. Now, what this means is that we realize that at a certain level, if we put in the focus, if we align ourselves with our higher purpose, which also means that we have an intention to give to other people, to add value to other people, that then things begin to work for us. Now, the way that I view this process is that we are all connected. And what that means is that when we do something to someone else, that is coming back to us. And I mean that in a very positive way, because as we give our gift to other people, the universe will always support us. The higher self will always support us. And I'm just using those ideologies so that we can understand it from different point of views. But what we can do is realize that the more we give to other people, the more we are supported and the more things then will work out for us. Now, what I mean by this is if you have a passion for painting, you can look at it as painting is your passion and you enjoy doing it. But from a different point of view, you could also underneath that understand that you are adding value to other people, that you are spreading your gift, you are expressing to other people your art, and that is benefiting them. If you are an entertainer, for example, you're somebody, maybe you're a comedian and you do YouTube videos or you do some type of videos on Instagram. Instead of just viewing it as I like to make people laugh, you could also look at it as I am helping other people elevate their mood. I am allowing other people to look at themselves in a new way, or I'm spreading information in a way that has the satire underneath it. You see, when we begin to just reframe it in our mind, what we do is that intention will align with so many more people than it will, because people can feel the intention underneath what we do. People can feel when someone is doing something to just benefit themselves, or if they're doing it because it's more of an expression of who they are with the intention underneath it of adding value to other people. So the way we can revolutionize the whole way we look at the law of attraction is understanding that we can trust the process. Understand that the universe will support us if our intentions are pure. And what I encourage you to do is, if you have some intentions that are maybe more just ego-driven, they're just more of what can I get out of other people, that what you could begin to do is to reframe it. It's a very quick thing to do. You just start to look at it if how can I share with other people? How can I help impact people in a positive way? Even if it's something that you're looking at, well, it's like not everyone creates YouTube videos with spreading this kind of information. You could look at it and say, what emotion am I allowing people to feel? Even in my daily life. Maybe you do something like you sell shoes for a living, right? Like that's what I used to do. I used to, before I did YouTube full time, I used to work a commission job selling women's shoes, high-end like designer shoes. And what I would do when I did go into work like, months ago, is when I would help someone, I was looking to add value to them. It wasn't so that I could get my commission check and make my money and my percentage. It was more so, how can I add value and have a good interaction with people? And every single day that I went in with that attitude, I would do so much better than if I went in with the attitude of, what can these customers provide with me? What can they increase my check to? It's a little bit of a different perspective, but it changes just about everything. So what we can remember to do is to switch the perspective in our mind from how and what can I get out of it to what can I give. And then also understanding that as we switch the perspective to knowing we can trust the process, the job of our ego is to focus on the things we do want, to decide who we are and what we want to experience, but at the same time, let go of the outcome, to trust the process, to realize that the ego mind that we have of what we can imagine, what we think is the ceiling of the best possible scenario, might only be the ground for the higher self. It could come through much better, but if we are attached to the expectations of exactly how it's supposed to happen, we may actually be limiting ourselves. So the key then becomes of how can I surrender to my higher self? How can I allow the best case scenario to come through? And then also remember that you can give yourself the permission to feel the emotions of what you want to experience right now in the present moment. You are already whole and complete, and when you start to switch the frame there, everything begins to change. Because instead of wanting that car because it will make you feel better, you already know that you are whole and complete, and that then when you go through with that intention, you are going at it from a point of view of your cup already being full. You are actually resonating with what it would be like to have that car because you already feel feel whole and complete. So the key to this is something that can profoundly change your life if you simply make those little tweaks and the understanding of what it is. And for me, it's something that over the past couple weeks I've really been aware of. I'm aware of how my ego works, not in a bad way. The ego isn't bad. That's something a lot of people, it's been like the trend lately, is like demolish the ego. We do at a certain level need our ego to decide and do daily activities. It's when we become over-identified with it and we start to think that that is all of who we are. We are much more than that ego version. We can expand ourselves out to the larger part of ourselves, and that's when everything will begin to change. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and also hit that little notification gear next to the subscribe button so that you're able to see the daily videos that I do. Some people say that they don't see the daily vids even though I do them every day. So other than that, I will see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, and namaste.